uh, for
Yeah.
20 verses.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I'll share the screen. Can you check now?
Yes, Prabhuji. See.
Okay. Yep.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17. Srila Sukdev Goswami said, after offering obeisances to the direction from which Ananta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, had disappeared, Chitraketu began traveling in outer space as the head of the Vidyadharas, being praised by the great sages and saints and by the inhabitants of Siddhaloka and Charanalokas. Chitraketu, the most powerful mystic yogi, wandered about enjoying life for millions of years. With bodily strength and senses free from deterioration, he traveled within the valleys of Sumeru mountain, which is the place of perfection for various kind of mystic power. In those valleys, he enjoyed life with the omen of Vidyadhara Loka by chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Hari. One time, while King Chitraketu was traveling in outer space on a brilliantly effulgent airplane given to him by Lord Vishnu, he saw Lord Shiva surrounded by Siddhas and Charanas. Lord Shiva was sitting in an assembly of great saintly persons and embracing Parvati on his lap with his arm. Chitraketu laughed loudly and spoke within the hearing of Parvati. Chitraketu said, Lord Shiva, the spiritual master of the general populace, is the best of all living entities who have accepted material bodies. He enunciates the system of religion, yet how wonderful it is that he is embracing his wife, Parvati, in the midst of an assembly of great saintly persons. Lord Shiva, whose hair is matted on his head, has certainly undergone great austerities and penances. Indeed, he is the president in the assembly of strict followers of Vedic principle. Nonetheless, he is seated with his wife on his lap in the midst of saintly person and is embracing her as if he were a shameless, ordinary human being. Ordinary conditioned persons generally embrace their wives and enjoy their company in solitary places. How wonderful it is that Lord Mahadeva, although a great master of austerity, is embracing his wife openly in the midst of assembly of great saints. Srila Sukdev Goswami continued, My dear king, after hearing Chitraketu's statement, Lord Shiva, the most powerful personality whose knowledge is fathomless, simply smiled and remained silent, and all the members of the assembly followed the Lord by not saying anything. Not knowing the prowess of Lord Shiva and Parvati, Chitraketu strongly criticized them. His statements were not at all pleasing, and therefore the goddess Parvati, being very angry, spoke as follows to Chitraketu, who thought himself better than Lord Shiva in controlling the senses. The goddess Parvati said, Alas, has this upstart now received a post which to push shameless person like us? Has he been appointed ruler, carrier of the rod of punishment? Is he now the only master of everything? Alas, Lord Brahma, who has taken his birth from the lotus flower, does not know the principle of religion, nor do the great saints like Vrigu and Narada, nor the four Kumaras headed by Sanat Kumara, Manu, Kapila have also forgotten the religion principle. I suppose it is to be because of this that they have not tried to stop Lord Shiva from behaving improperly. This Chitraketu is the lowest of Kshatriya, for he has impudently overridden Brahma and the other demigods by insulting Lord Shiva, upon whose lotus feet they always meditate. Lord Shiva is personified religion and the spiritual master of the entire world, and therefore Chitraketu must be punished. This person is puffed up because of the achievement, thinking I am the best. He does not deserve to approach the shelter of Lord Vishnu's lotus feet, which are worshipped by all saintly person, for he is impudent, thinking himself greatly important. O impudent one, my dear son, now take birth in a low sinful family of demons, so that you will not commit such an offense again towards exalted saintly person in this world. Sri Shukdev Goswami continued, my dear King Parikshit, when Chitraketu was cursed by Parvati, he descended from his airplane, bowed before her with great humility, and pleased her completely. Chitraketu said, my dear mother, with my own hands folded together, I accept the curse upon me. I do not mind the curse, for happiness and distress are given by the demigods as a result of one's past deeds. Deluded by the ignorance, the living entity wandered in the forest of the material world, enjoying the happiness and distress resulting from his past deeds everywhere and at all times. Therefore, my dear mother, neither you nor I am to be blamed for this incident. In this material world, neither the living entity himself nor other friends and enemies are the cause of material happiness and distress, but because of gross ignorance, the living entity thinks that he and others are the cause. This material world resembles the waves of constantly flowing river. Therefore, what is what is a curse and what is a favor? What is the heavenly plan? What is the heavenly planets and what are the hellish planets? What is actually happiness and what is actually distress? Because the waves flow constantly, none of them has an eternal effect. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, unaffected by the conditions of the material world. He creates all the conditioned soul by his own personal potency. Because of being contaminated by the material energy, the living entity is put into ignorance and thus into different conditions of bondage. Sometimes by knowledge, the living entity is given liberation. In Sattva-guna and Rajoguna, he is subjected to happiness and distress. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is equally disposed towards all
Prabhuji,
living entities.
yeah, maybe we can take this chapter into two parts.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
yeah, we'll cover till 21.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
thank you so much for reading. How was it reading? The new year started.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity to read first Bhagavatam reading for this year. Uh, I'm greatly fortunate. Yes, Prabhuji, as again we see that out of some pride and the material possession of the highly planetary system, Chitraketu, was puffed up, and he started insulting the greatest Vaishnava, Lord Shiva, uh, and
Yeah.
then, but still the humility is inside him, so uh, he realized and um, came into the lotus feet of Mother Parvati and then accepted the curse also. Then we
Yeah.
will see what happens to him next.
I think that was the reason you are reading, huh? You are going with the flow. We will cover. I mean, in case if we finish this small part soon,
Mhm.
then we will once again go further.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Seeking the blessings of the great acharyas, great bhagavatas. Let's continue this year 2026 with yeah, continuing from chapter 17 from this sixth canto. Before we discuss these 20 verses that Parth Prabhu has read, yeah, just to understand what is this about is King Chitraketu, who is very happy, who has accomplished everything, but because in spite of having many queens, many wives, he didn't had a child. And when Angira Rishi he came to his kingdom, then seeing his situation, lamentation, and after hearing to him what he wanted, Angira Rishi has blessed him with a child whose name is Harsha Shoka. Of course, Angira Rishi already said that this son of you will give you happiness or jubilation and also will cause lamentation. But of course, at that time, the king was not having a clue what it meant. Maybe he was thinking just like us that, okay, a grihastha life itself is moments of happiness and distress. That's okay. Yeah, because he didn't had experience what it means to have having one to go through distress. So he simply accepted that. And then in the due course of time, the queens, except Kritadyuti, who is his real mother, or the other queens started feeling that their husband has neglected them, and that too because of this boy, because the whole kingdom, all the citizens, king, everyone are affectionately uh, celebrating um, great time, because Harsha Shoka has been their lives, because just like king didn't had a son, all of them were feeling same pain, just like if someone is very much connected, though you are not the same body, you are not the same person. If you see other person is crying, you also feel, oh, oh, and then just like that. So in that way, the queens decided, okay, the cause of all of our suffering is because of this. We have become unfortunate, and people are considering us as cheap, neglecting us because of this Harsha Shoka. They poisoned him and killed him. And of course, there was a big mourning that everyone were feeling very sad. Oh, come on. Um, and then, uh, yeah, there was so much lamentation, shoka. And Then there was so much vairagya, shamshana vairagya feeling that the king thought, let me die, the queens thought, let me die, and uh, everyone were feeling in that bad mood at that time. Angira Rishi and Narad Muni, they both come, and then they start understanding what has happened. And Narad Muni said, okay, if you want, I can bring back your son. Uh, that's not a big problem. So Narada Muni has brought back the child into the same body that was lying as dead body in front of the parents, and the body when got electrified by the spirit soul, the boy, same Harsha Shoka came, and he started saying, "Okay, why am I here? Who are these? I have when they said I am your parents. I said, in which life are you my parents?" So he was already speaking that language of uh, enlightened being who knows that I am the soul, not the body. Okay, after all that understanding, finally, Kritadyuti and Chitraketu, they have performed the funeral rites of this child, and all the queens who have poisoned, who came together to poison this boy, they also feel ashamed and they got enlightenment that what they have done out of envy is not the right thing. Then Chitraketu, he has performed tapasya under the instructions of Narada Muni, and then he was given this Chaturvyuha mantra, Om Namastabhyam Bhagavate Vasudevaya, no, Anantaya. So, and after that, he has attained in just a week of time the leadership of Vidyadhara Loka. He became, and then afterwards he did further tapasya. He became, got the darshan of the Lord, and he prayed, pleased the Lord with his wonderful prayers, and the Lord blessed him. Yes. And that's where we are. And in continuation from there, we are discussing mm, Chitraketu while he was traveling, because this is all is because you remember the question came, why Vritrasura, in spite of a Rakshas, in spite of a demon, had such a great quality that even Indra, who was attacking him, was surprised to see such a great quality. Usually, such good qualities are there only in devotees. Yeah. But why are these qualities there also in a demon like Vritrasura, who was saying, okay, and then it was very difficult to kill Vritrasura. So, what is all this behind all this? What is the story? What is the reason? And that's where we are now trying to get to that exact point. Yeah, I think Bharat Prabhu just started with that, saying, okay, what happened? In this regard, Chitraketu was traveling in the outer space. One second, let me open my notes here. Hmm. श्रीसुख उवाच यतश्चान्तरिहतो अनन्तस्तस्यै कृत्वा दिशे नमः विद्याधरश्चित्रकेतुश्चचार गगने चरः. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, after offering obeisances to the direction from which Ananta, the Supreme Lord, had disappeared, Chitraketu began traveling in the outer space as the head of Vidyadharas. सलक्षं वर्षलक्षाणाम् अव्याहता बलेन्द्रियः स्तूयमानो महायोगी मुनिभिः सिद्धचाणरैः कुलैचल्लेन्द्रद्रोणीषु नानासङ्कल्पसिद्धिषु रेमे विद्याधरा स्त्रीभिर्गापयन् हरिम् ईश्वरम्. Now this is what happens. Yeah, he is now the king. He is now head of Vidyadharas, and then being praised by the great sages, saints, and inhabitants of Siddhaloka and Chanarloka. So he is head of that. Chitraketu, the most powerful mystic yogi, wandered about enjoying life for millions of years. With bodily strength and senses free from deterioration, he traveled within the valleys of Sumeru mountain, which is place of perfection for various kinds of mystic power. In those valleys, he enjoyed life with the women of Vidyadhar Loka by chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Hari. This is what is in the purport Prabhupada mentions. It is to be understood that Maharaj Chitraketu, although surrounded by beautiful women from Vidyadhara Loka, did not forget to glorify the Lord by chanting the Lord's name. It has been proved in many places that one who is not contaminated by any material condition, who is a pure devotee engaged in chanting the glories of the Lord, should be understood to be perfect. So here we can see the qualification of Vidyadhara, this Vidyadhar, head of Vidyadhara, Chitraketu. He is, though he had all the facilities, everything, he is there. There are servants, and there is a lot of praise and everything. He was always engaged in the service of the Lord. But ekada sabhimanena Vishnudattena bhaspata Girisham dadrishe gachan Paritam siddhachanaraihi Alingyanki kritam devim Bahunam muni samsadi Uvacha devya Shrunvantya Jaha soschas Tad antike Tadantike, in the vicinity, what happened? There was very loud laugh. This is something. One time, while King Chitraketu was traveling in outer space on brilliant effulgent airplane given by Lord Vishnu, he saw Lord Shiva surrounded by Siddhas and Chanaras. Lord Shiva was sitting in assembly of great saintly persons and embracing Parvati on his lap with his arm. Hmm. From here, it's very interesting. This is what we have to understand in the loka that we are talking here. When Lord Shiva was seen, he was seen embracing Parvati on his lap with his arm. Chitraketu laughed loudly and spoke within the hearing of Parvati. So what happened here is that when Chitraketu was flying in his airplane, and then he saw in the assembly of Lord Shiva and Parvati there are sages. Sages, they're always immersed in tapasya, always controlling the senses and always focusing on the Lord in the Brahman or in the form of Paramatma or in the form of Bhagavan. So, in one form or the other, always absorbed in yoga. Why is to protect oneself from disturbing thoughts or disturbing sense objects. Yeah? So, and in that place, Chitraketu saw that Lord Shiva was sitting in the midst of the assembly, and that too, yeah, a yogi. Okay, that's fine. Lord Shiva is Yogeshwara. That's fine. But he had Mother Parvati on his lap sitting, and he was holding, embracing her, and that he suddenly, yeah, he laughed loudly and spoke, so that I mean, spoke such a way that, yeah, even Mother Parvati heard to what he said. In the purport, Prabhupada is referring to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Tika commentary. Is saying, Bhaktim bhutim hariddatva swa vichedanu devya sapena deva shapena vrit, vrittatvam nitya tam swantike anayat. Sorry, anayat. Um, it means that the Supreme Lord wanted to bring Chitraketu to Vaikuntha as soon as possible. Hmm? That's why something is going on. Bhaktim bhutim harir dattva. Swa vichedanu devya shapena. So this curse that Chitraketu is going to get, what is the reason? Huh? The reason is that Lord wants, okay, come on, Vidyadhar, you have been enjoying this world. Okay, of course, you are a great mystic yogi. You are also a great devotee. Never forgot me. So I want to favor you. How this favoring is happening, we can see from this part. In fact, in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, for Parvati to be embraced by Lord Shiva was natural in a relationship between husband and wife. This was nothing extraordinary for Chitraketu to see. Nonetheless, Chitraketu laughed loudly to see Lord Shiva in that situation, even though he should not have done so. Thus, he was eventually cursed, and this curse was the cause of his returning home back to God. We always, sometimes someone will ask, na, why that happened? Why this happened? Come on, why this only happened? Why this not happened? Yeah. So rather reading between the lines and misinterpreting it. Hmm? When we have such a reference like here, we can see Srila Prabhupada is mentioning this curse is the cause. In fact, Prabhupada is not just saying from his own understanding, but he's also adding the reference of previous acharyas, like Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, to help us understand the Leela as it is. Hmm. चित्रकेतुर्वाच एष लोका गुरुः साक्षात् धर्मं वक्ता शरीरिणाम् आस्ते मुख्य सभायां वै मिथुनी भूय भार्ययाम्. Chitraketu is saying, Lord Shiva, who is Lord Shiva here? Loka Guru. He's saying the supreme, the spiritual master of the general populace is the best of all living entities who have accepted material bodies. He enunciates the system of religion. Yet, how wonderful it is that he is embracing his wife Parvati in the midst of assembly of great saintly persons. जटाधरस्तीव्रः तपा ब्रह्मवादी सभापतिः अङ्कीकृत्य स्त्रियं चास्ते गता ह्रीर्प्राकृतो यथा. Jatadhara, the Lord whose hair is matted on his head, has certainly undergone great austerities and penances. Indeed, he is the president of the assembly of strict followers of Vedic principles. Nonetheless, he is seated with his wife on his lap in the midst of saintly persons and is embracing her as if he were a shameless, ordinary human being. He's saying this aste gatahri. Gatahrir means without shame. Uh, uh, Prakrita, a person like who is under the influence of Prakriti. Prakrita yata, just like that. How kind of Chitraketu appreciated. We can see here in this verse the tone matters. Yeah, of course, the way that we read, we can also bring that feeling of Lord Chitraketu. But Chitraketu's purport is in the purport Prabhupada mentioned, Chitraketu appreciated the exalted position of Lord Shiva, and therefore he remarked at how wonderful it was that Lord Shiva was acting like an ordinary human being. So sometimes now out of we see something wonderful. Yeah, so simple. Hey, come on, he's a great person, and he's playing with the kid, just like a president or a prime minister. At home, when he comes, we see one may see that he has his grandson, granddaughter, and he starts playing with them like he becoming a child. Hmm. As if like he also has a lot of attachment, affection, and all. But in the end, when he goes back to his own position, there he is like scolding, chastising people who are miscreants and appreciating those who are. So he's very unattached at his job, whereas at home he starts behaving like a kid to play with his grandsons or granddaughters. So here Chitraketu was experiencing this wonder that Lord Shiva, who is such a great exalted personality, he appreciated Lord Shiva's position. Of course, yeah. That's why he's saying Loka Guru. Therefore, he remarked how wonderful it was that Lord Shiva was acting like an ordinary human being. He appreciated Lord Shiva's position, but when he saw Lord Shiva sitting in the midst of saintly persons and acting like a shameless, ordinary man, he was astonished. Is it possible? Is it possible such a person who is completely detached, a person who is being sorted by yogis who always see Lord Shiva is, of course, one cannot understand his leelas, very difficult to understand. He is not the one who is having all the, uh, what do you call, opulences in the form of nice gems, gold, garlands, and all these things. No, he is a complete renunciant. And Such a person is to be seen, yeah, with wife, and that too in the assembly like this. So this was astonishment. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that although Chitraketu criticized Lord Shiva, we have to understand, Acharyas are saying, though Chitraketu was criticizing in this way, but actually he was not an offender like how Daksha has offended Lord Shiva. Daksha considered Lord insignificant, but Chitraketu expressed his wonder at Lord Shiva being situated in higher, exalted position. He did not consider, Daksha. So at least here we can see that Daksha has committed an offense due to which his head was cut by Kala Bhairava. And but here what happens, Chitraketu, is something interesting, that the same thing. I'll come to that point. प्रायशः प्राकृतश्चापि स्त्रियं रहसि बिभ्रतै अयं महाव्रतधरो विभर्ति सदसि स्त्रियं. His wife. Now, what is this? Lord Shiva is such a great personality. He's saying ordinary conditioned persons generally embrace their wives and enjoy their company in solitary place. How wonderful it is that Lord Mahadev, although a great master of austerity, is embracing his wife openly in the midst of assembly of who? Is it Grihasthas? No, in the assembly of saints. The word Mahavritadhara indicates a brahmachari who has never fallen down. Lord Shiva is counted among the best of the yogis, yet he embraced his wife in the midst of great saintly persons. Chitraketu appreciated how great Lord Shiva was to be unaffected even in that situation. It is actually, he was saying, amazing, isn't it? Hmm? Though he was having Mother Parvati on his lap, he is still unaffected. Therefore, Chitraketu was not an offender. He merely expressed his wonder. Shri Sukha Uvacha Bhagavan Apicha Shutva Prahasyagadagdhir Nripa Tushnim Babhuva Sadasi Sabhyas Chaddat Anuvrataha. After hearing Chitraketu's statement, Lord Shiva, the most powerful personality whose knowledge is fathomless, simply smiled and remained silent, and all the members of the assembly followed Lord Shiva by not saying anything. That, yeah, in the case of in the third canto, we come across Daksha. Daksha also in assembly of all. Lord Brahma was there, all the rishis were there. In that assembly, Daksha was saying, everyone got up when I came in, but there is this one, and then he starts blaspheming Lord Shiva, saying, "Hey, he is the one who has no culture. He is the one who is like a monkey." So many things he uses, and he starts chastising Lord Shiva because he didn't get up and offer respect. And Daksha has incurred a big sin because he was offending Lord Shiva in the midst of the assembly, not recognizing Lord Shiva's supremacy, Lord Shiva's greatness. He didn't appreciate that. Rather, he always felt, I wouldn't have given my daughter to Lord Shiva, Sati Devi, to Lord Shiva, if Lord Brahma would not have pushed me. Of course, I know that Sati, my daughter, loves Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva, what qualification he has? He has no house. He is not rich. And in this way, he started considering so many things, and it came to a point where he simply cursed. Sorry, no, he was simply, he has offended rather than, and then there is this cursing going, and then there was counter cursing. Everything was happening at that time. Also, Lord Shiva, does anyone remember what did Lord Shiva do? What did he do? Hmm? When all this cursing, Nandishwar was cursing, and Bhrigu was counter cursing. When this whole things were going, what happened?
He
Lord
just
Shiva, huh?
he got up and went from there.
He got up. Lord Shiva simply got up and he left from the place. What is the reason, Pratikali Mataji?
He didn't want others to more to the
Hmm.
aparadhas.
Especially he didn't want that
Yeah.
his followers do not get more affected by this cursing. So he wanted to protect his people, and at the same time, yes, the more he is present there, yeah, he can digest all whatever was happening. He why because he know who he is. He was untouched by all that offenses, whatever offensive speech that was happening at that time. But others, everyone were getting affected and they were cursing, counter cursing. So he thought, because of me, if this is getting more and more worse, better, let me leave from the place. Anyway, he left Lord Shiva. And here, what happened is when Chitraketu, after this, he was saying Lord Shiva, the most powerful personality whose knowledge is fathomless. Means usually we come across this point. If someone has done by mistake or out of ignorance, that is okay. But Lord Shiva, how can he have his dear wife on his lap? He is the one who is fathomless and also who has complete knowledge. He simply smiled and remained silent. And all the members of the assembly also remained silent. And then, and here this goes further. I mean, I'll come to this purport 9 later, but we'll further go. Ityattad virya vidishu ब्रुवाणे बह्व अशोभनं रुषाः देवी तिष्ठाय निर्जितात्माभिमानिने आत्मा abhimana, thinking of himself. Not knowing the prowess of Lord Shiva and Parvati, Chitraketu strongly criticized them. So here we can see from the 10th verse we can see that he didn't know what is he saying, but somehow it appears as a criticism. His statements were not at all pleasing, and therefore Goddess Parvati, being very angry, spoke as follows to Chitraketu, who thought himself better than Lord Shiva in controlling the senses. So here, although Chitraketu never meant to insult Lord Shiva, he should not have criticized the Lord, even though the Lord was transgressing social customs. This is in the purport. Prabhupada, it's mentioned that uh, although Chitraketu never meant to insult Lord Shiva, but still he can't so casually or loosely, uh, uh, um, yeah, disrespect. We could say here it is said, uh, "Teji yasham na doshaya." One who is very powerful should be understood to be faultless. For example, one should not find faults with the sun, although it evaporates urine from the street. The most powerful cannot be criticized by an ordinary man or even by a great personality. Uh, Chitraketu should have known that Lord Shiva, although sitting in this way, was not to be criticized. The difficulty was that Chitraketu, having become a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, Sankarshana, was thought was somewhat proud at having achieved Lord Sankarshana's favor, and therefore thought that he could now criticize anyone, even Lord Shiva. This happens when we become devotees. In the mood of devotion, we may tend to think, I am now qualified to criticize someone. Yeah, it is very, very thin layer. Who can criticize? Maybe at the end of the session, if I don't cover, please let me know. I can try to share some thoughts there. Mm, here, Sankarshan, yeah, Chitraketu, he has attained perfection with great tapasya. Lord Sankarshana has come, blessed him. And then, so sometimes devotees now may become a bit less sensitive to sadachar. Yeah, maybe that's the right way. Sadachar means etiquettes, how to deal with devotees, how to deal with non-devotees, how to deal with exalted devotees. Uh, One should be very, very sensible and sensitive in dealing with devotees. So the difficulty was that Chitraketu, having become a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, doesn't mean that he can just do whatever he wants. And therefore, um, this kind of pride in a devotee is never tolerated. Hmm? A Vaishnava should always remain very humble and meek and offer respect to others. Prabhupada is referring Trinadapi Sunichena Taror Api Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. So one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street, and one should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of Lord constantly. So a Vaishnava should not try to minimize anyone else's position. It is better to remain humble and meek and chant Hare Krishna mantra. The word Nirjitatma Abhimanine indicates that Chitraketu thought himself a better controller of senses than Lord Shiva. Sometimes, somehow or the other, we may attain a level of devotion, but sometimes maybe our own past nature dominate us, and then we may act um, in um, in a condition that is again entangling us or binding us. Because of all these considerations, Mother Parvati was somewhat angry at Chitraketu. And then she spoke. Shri Parvatyuvaच Ayam kim adhuna loke shashta dandadharah prabhu asmadvidhanam dushtanam nirlajjanam cha viprakrit. He's saying, who has no shame, he's saying, alas, has this upstart now reached a position from which to punish shameless persons like us? Huh? She's indirectly criticizing, why is he thinking us shameless? Huh? Saying, has he been appointed ruler, carrier of the rod of punishment? Is he now the only master of everything? She started chastising that this Chitraketu, and is he now the master of everything that he can even punish? And yeah, he's thinking us shameless. न वेदधर्मं किल पद्मयोनिर्न ब्रह्मपुत्र भृगुनारदाद्यया न वै कुमारा कपिलो मुनश्च येन निषेदन्ति अतिवर्तिनं हरम्. Alas, Lord Brahma, who has taken his birth from the lotus flower, does not know the principle of religion, nor do the saints like Bhrigu and Narada, nor the four Kumaras headed by Sanat Kumara, Manu and Kapila have also forgotten religious principles. I suppose it to be because of this that they have not tried to stop Lord Shiva from behaving improperly. She is saying everyone don't know, and is it only Chitraketu the person who knows what is right? So indirectly she is telling, hey Chitraketu, uh, don't pose yourself to be great. Are you greater than Lord Brahma? Are you greater than the Kumaras? Are you greater than the saints Narada? Are you greater than Bhrigu, Narada, Kumaras? Are you greater than Manu? Are you greater than Kapila Muni? Kapila Muni, who has given Sankhya philosophy, are you greater than him? This is what she is saying. Yesham anudhyeya padabjayugmam jagadgurum mangala mangalam swayam yah Kshatra bandhu paribhuya shurim prasasti dristastad ayam hi dandyaha. This Chitraketu is the lowest of Kshatriya, for he has impudently overridden Brahma and the other demigods by insulting Lord Shiva. Who is Lord Shiva? Upon whose lotus feet they all meditate. Lord Shiva is personified religion and the supreme spiritual master of the entire world, and therefore Chitraketu must be punished. All the members of the assembly were exalted Brahmanas and self realized, but they did not say anything about the conduct of Shiva, who was embracing goddess Parvati on his lap. It's only Chitraketu nonetheless criticized Lord Shiva, and therefore the opinion of Parvati was that he should be punished. Nayam arhati vaikunta pada mulapa sarpanam sambhavita mati stabdaha sadhu bihi paryupashitam. This person is puffed up because of his achievements, thinking, I am the best. He does not deserve to approach the shelter of Lord Vishnu's lotus feet, which are worshipped by all saintly persons, for he is impudent, thinking himself greatly important. So, the same shloka is again repeating in this verse. Prabhupada is mentioning Trinadapi Sunichena, devotee, devotee. Devotee means humbleness, humbleness, humbleness. If we become proud of what we are, then we do not qualify to be a devotee. Though we may be getting all the recognition as a devotee, though people identify us to be devotee, but when the humility is not there, eventually one falls down. Here in this case, Mother Parvati has cursed Chitraketu. Of course, here we can see Chitraketu is a devotee, and of course, the Lord had a plan to bring him back. It's okay, but for fallen souls who are just trying to develop through sadhana bhakti, uh, if one thinks, oh, if Chitraketu did it, and because Parvati cursed, even we can do, and if we'll be cursed also by some devotee, then we will proceed. No, that's not the case. We need to have this right quality and qualification in our services. Atha papiyashim yonim asurim yahi durmate yathena bhuyo mahatam na karta putra kilbisham. Offense. He's saying kilbisham. Kilbisham means impurity and also means curse. He's saying, O impudent one, my dear son, now take birth in a low, sinful family of demons, so that you will not commit such an offense again toward exalted saintly persons in this world. Amazing, right? What is this curse? The reason what Mother Parvati is telling is, if you are puffed up, thinking you are a great Lord, you are a great devotee of the Lord, sorry, and then you are committing all this, now better you become a demon. So, in the purport, Prabhupada is saying, one should be very careful not to commit offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord. Lotus feet of Vaishnavas, of whom Lord Shiva is the best. While instructing Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described an offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava as Hathi Mata, like a mad elephant. A mad elephant can simply trample on the garden and spoil the whole garden if it enters. Similarly, if one becomes like a mad elephant and commit offenses at the lotus feet of Vaishnava, his entire spiritual career is halted. One should therefore be very careful not to commit offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava. Mother Parvati was justified in punishing Chitraketu, for Chitraketu impudently criticized the Supreme Father Mahadev, who is the father of the living entities conditioned within this middle world. How? Because Mother Durga is Bhavani. Bhava means the material world that's created, and Bhavani, so which means she is the mother. Who is the father? Lord Shiva. Hmm? Goddess mother is Goddess Durga is mother. Lord Shiva is the father. A pure Vaishnava should be very careful to engage in his specific duty without criticizing others. This is the safest position. Otherwise, if one tends to criticize others, he may commit the great offense of criticizing a Vaishnava. So, this this is a very important point here, that one may slowly slip into a criticizing mode, and one should guard from that when one is discussing about devotees. This is the safest. Otherwise, if one tends to criticize others, he may commit the great offense of criticizing a Vaishnava. Because Chitraketu was undoubtedly a Vaishnava, he might have been surprised that Parvati had cursed him. Therefore, the goddess Parvati addressed him as Putra or son. Everyone is son of Mother Durga, but she is not an ordinary mother. As soon as there is a small discrepancy in a demon's behavior, Mother Durga immediately punishes. And the purport goes further explaining even Mother when Lord Shiva, when Lord Krishna, he has broken the yogurt pot. At that time, Mother Yashoda, she took a stick in her hand to chastise. Hmm. Of course, thus it is that duty of mother to chastise her beloved son, even in the case of the Supreme Lord. It is to be understood that Mother Durga was justified in punishing Chitraketu. This punishment was a boon to Chitraketu because after taking birth as demon Vritrasura, he was promoted directly to Vaikuntha. श्री सुख उवाच एवं सप्तश्चित्रक्लेतुर्विमानाद् अवरुह्य सः प्रसादयाम् आस सतीं मूर्ध्ना नम्रेण भारत. So Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, saying, "Oh, my dear King Parikshit, when Chitraketu was cursed by Mother Parvati, he descended from his airplane, bowed before her with great humility, and pleased her completely. And Chitraketu, after pleasing her, he is saying, uh, प्रतिगृह्णामि चित्रकेतुर्वाच प्रतिगृह्णामि ते शापम् आत्मनो अञ्जलिनाम्बिके देवैर्मत्याय यत् प्रोक्तं पूर्वादिष्टं हि तस्य तत्. Chitraketu said, "My dear mother, with my own hands folded together, I accept the curse upon me. I do not mind this curse, for happiness and distress are given by the demigods as a result of one's past deeds." So, Chitraketu, being a devotee, he was not at all disturbed by the curse of Mother Parvati. He knew that he had not committed any offense at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, because he know in what mood, what intention did he speak, or Goddess Parvati, yet he had been punished. This meant that the punishment has been ordained by some lord. Thus, the king did not mind it. A devotee is naturally so humble and meek that he accepts any condition of life as blessed from the Lord. तत्तेऽनुकम्पं समीक्षमाणं भुञ्जा एवात्मकृतं विपाकं हृद्वाक् वपुर्भिद् विददं namaste जीवेत यो मुक्तिपदे स दायभाक्. It is said that my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past deeds or misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim, daya bak. He is supposed to enjoy uh, your favor because he has suffered. So a devotee always accepts punishment from anyone as a mercy of the Lord. Suffering, therefore, is also a process of purification. Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur says in this connection that one who has developed Krishna consciousness and who exists in love with Krishna is no longer subject to suffering and happiness under the laws of karma. So, in this way, Acharya's comment that Maharaj Chitraketu being cursed by Parvati should be considered the mercy of the Lord. The Lord wanted Chitraketu to return to Godhead as soon as possible, and therefore he terminated all his reactions of his past deeds. Acting through the heart of Parvati, who is situated in everyone's Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, cursed Chitraketu in order to end all his material reactions. Thus, Chitraketu became Vritrasura in his next life and returned home back to Godhead. संसार चक्र एतस्मिन् जन्तुर अज्ञान मोहितः भ्राम्यं सुखं च दुःखं च भुङ्क्ते सर्वत्र सर्वदा. Chitraketu is saying, yes, Deluded by ignorance, the living entity wanders in the forest of this material world, enjoying the happiness and distress resulting from his past deeds everywhere and at all times. So, Chitraketu is saying, my dear mother, neither you nor I am to be blamed of this incident. Hmm? Vibhav? नैवात्मन परश्चापि कर्ता स्यात् सुख दुःखयोः कर्तारं मन्यते त्याज्ञा आत्मानं परम एव च. In this material world, neither the living entity himself nor others are the cause of material happiness and distress. But because of gross ignorance, the living entity thinks that he and others are the cause. So this, yeah, Chitraketu was so much established in this because he's a devotee. It's not that he just did out of ignorance what he has done. Yeah, he is able to appreciate that everything is Lord's plan. The process गुणप्रवाह एतस्मिन् कः शापः कोऽन्व अनुग्रहः कः स्वर्गे नरकः को वा किं सुखं दुःखम् एव वा. He's saying, this material world resembles the waves of a constant flowing river. Therefore, what is a curse and what is a favor? So in the world where we are living, if someone is helping us, if someone is punishing us, what is it? Is someone's punishment is really punishment? For example, a parent is punishing a child. Is it really a punishment? Oh no, it's actually a favor. And if a person is favoring us by giving all what we like, and is it really a favor? No, it's a punishment because it is becoming making us more conditioned. So Chitraketu is saying, let me ask one question. Are you able to hear well, or you're hearing background noise?
No, Prabhuji, we can hear well.
Yeah. So, yeah, so we can see here that Chitraketu, uh, what he spoke is that, therefore, what is a curse and what is a favor? What are the heavenly planets and what are hellish planets? What is actually happiness? What is actually distress? Because of the waves constantly flowing, none of them has an eternal effect. So this is the position of a devotee who has understood this material world and is saying in the purport Prabhupada is referring Bhakti Vinod Thakur is saying Miche Mayara Vashe Yache Bheshe Kacha Habudubhu Bhai. He's saying, my dear living entities within this material world, why are you being carried away by the waves of modes of material nature? Jiva Krishna Dasa A Vishwasa Karle Tar Ara Dukkha Nai. If the living entity tries to understand that he is an eternal servant of Krishna, there will no longer be misery for him. Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur says in this regard that being put into this material world is like being thrown into a mine of salt. If one falls into a mine of salt, he tastes only salt wherever he goes. Similarly, this material world is full of miseries. The so called temporary happiness of the world is also misery. But in ignorance, we cannot understand this. That is the actual position. Uh, when one comes to his senses, when he becomes Krishna conscious, he is no longer concerned with the various conditions of material world. He is not concerned with happiness or distress, curse or favor, heaven or hell planets. He sees no distinction between them. एकः सृजति भूतानि भगवान् आत्ममायया येषां बन्धं च मोक्षं च सुखं दुःखं च निष्कलः. Because of being contaminated by material energy, the living entity is put into ignorance and thus in different conditions of bondage. Sometimes by knowledge, the living entity is given liberation. In Sattva Guna and Rajo Guna, he is subjected to happiness and distress. I think you have read till 21, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So we stop here. Maybe if there are some thoughts or questions. Yeah. Does anyone have a question or thought?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the purport and explanation. Here, in some of the verses, it is said that Lord Shiva is the spiritual master for all the living entity, all the entire world. So, but in Vaishnava culture, we don't really specifically worship Lord Shiva. Like we, of course, we pay our obeisances.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
how
but there is this sampradaya we accept. Yeah, there is Rudra sampradaya. Yeah. In Vaishnava sampradayas, there are four sampradayas. One is Rudra sampradaya, one is Sri sampradaya, one is Kumar sampradaya, one is Brahma sampradaya.
Okay.
So we respect Rudra sampradaya. It's not like, okay, yeah. But what we have seen is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the cream of all these four sampradayas and has established Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava sampradaya. Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava sampradaya, in which we are getting all. It's not that we have rejected Rudra sampradaya completely.
Okay. Yeah. Rudra
Yeah.
Sampradaya is there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so their teaching coming from Lord Shiva only, like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pooji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, your voice is very fainty.
Sorry Prabhuji. Are you able to hear now?
Better. Yeah.
Yes Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Lord Shiva is Supreme Lord or not? That is confusion, because Sadashiv is Supreme Lord, and who is this Lord Shiva? That is
Okay.
confusing.
Yeah, we can see everything. Everything is emanation from the fountainhead of our God, fountainhead of the Supreme Lord. So in Bhagavatam, in the first canto, we hear that Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So from the Lord is expanding in so many forms, so many ways. In one way, we can see there are expansions, and there are expansions of expansions. There are expansions of plenary portions, expansions of plenary portions of plenary portions. In that way, Lord expands in many forms, many ways. And when we see in the spiritual world, the Lord is expanding as Sadashiva, who is also present, and just in executing the duties of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. The Lord is also expanding within the universe, within each universe. Yeah, we can see here the Lord is expanding as Mahadev or Lord Shiva to engage in the process of yeah, spreading this yoga. Uh, as we know, and to always meditate. And of course, one may think that, okay, the Lord, why don't he appear only in the last stage when annihilation is supposed to happen? If he appears at that time, that's enough. No, the Lord is also, he's when we see in this regard, they are followers, they are saints, saintly, who are appreciating the Lord to be worshipped in this form. So the same Sadashiva is taking the form of Lord Shiva in the form of Rudra, and that's how we can see that he is also um, guiding. He is also the shelter of those Bhutanath, right? So, and he those who have less intelligence, to who can save them, is the one who is all merciful, Ashutosh. And in that form, Lord Shiva is coming in this form, and in the material realms, he is safeguarding those people who have not yet attained maturity in understanding the science of Godhead to a greater level. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, he is not Jeev, but he is
Definitely, he is
not
not
from.
a Jivatma. No. Yeah,
But
he is
not, but
expanding.
also not a Supreme Lord, or
Yeah, he's also not the Supreme Lord. Yeah, even if you're talking within the case of Sadashiva also, of course, Sadashiva is another name we can say to Lord Krishna, but still that Sadashiva is also manifesting from the Supreme Lord Krishna. So, in that way, Krishna is the Supreme, and Sadashiva, he is actually the example given in Brahma Samhita, to help us understand even a little is we can see just like curd and milk. Yeah, we can see when we see curd can't come on its own, right? In a way, we can say curd is also milk. Only thing is, it is just transformed vikara. It's just because of influence of uh, this acids, through which it is changing from milk to curd. But still, yeah, it is also in one way we can say it's milk, right? From milk only it emanated.
so Prabhuji, Lord Shiva is not Vishnu Tattva, but separate.
Sadashiva, yeah, Sadashiva is seen like that, yeah. But when we are, that's why usually what happens is when Lord Shiva or Sadashiva, he is non-different and than Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu is Lord Shiva only. Sorry, is Vishnu Tattva only. Yeah, when he is uh, coming into the world, then he is assuming the form of Guna Avatar. Hmm.
But he changes Prabhuji then, or Sadashiva is then changing. I mean, he is the same, not Vishnu Tattva, or he's changing.
Um, Good question. In the Pancha Upasana, there is where Lord Sun God, Ganesha, and then comes Lord Shiva, Shakti, and Vishnu. Yeah, did I cover five? Yeah. In that, Rudra is what tattva? I have to check. Yeah, it's a good question. At least that is covered in that. Um, have you read the book Faith by His Holiness Kadam Karan Maharaj?
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah, maybe yeah, we'll find answer there. Otherwise, also we can see in which tattva was Lord Shiva worshipped. I- but that's a good question.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Um, but at least when we are talking about the Dhama, yeah, where we say, okay, there is Mahesh Dham, there is this um, before we go to the spiritual world, there are different dham, and the influences of this dham are explained. And what it says is that Lord Shiva in that is not exhibiting or manifesting all the qualities of Lord Vishnu.
Yes,
So at
Prabhuji.
least there we can see that he is not seen as a Vishnu Tattva in the realm of this Mahesha Dham. But is he still as a Vishnu Tattva or not? I have to check there. In what Tattva is he exhibiting, and what is it? Yeah, that's a good question.
Yes, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, another question, that this example of this curd and milk, that it is,
Mhm.
they say that uh, yeah, if Lord
Is it
Krishna,
only I am not able to hear clearly?
or I can, Prabhuji, come more near.
Yeah, now I can hear better.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, Lord Krishna or Vishnu, when yeah, is from as a milk, he is transformed in the curd.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Lord is all powerful. He can do everything. So, if he can transform from Krishna to Shiva, then if he is powerful, then can he do the reverse?
Mm-hmm.
That is also one question that. comes.
So we can see that that's not possible, mainly because when we're saying that Lord is expanding, yeah, his expansions are still in a way they have a purpose for performing a leela, right? And because they are fully powerful, can they do anything and everything? No, the Lord has incarnated or in these forms for a purpose. When we talk about Shakti Avesh Avatar, they can't become Leela avatars. Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji, but Prabhuji, Sakti Avatar are are not Jiva Tattvas, or
They are Jiva Tattva. Hmm. But empowered
can
with the
be,
qualities of the Lord, right?
yeah. So
Yeah,
Prabhuji,
I'm
it
giving
is
one example. Yeah, I'm giving that example to say that it's not possible that they can simply, yeah. And when we talk about will Lord Shiva, as Sadashiva, is going to go to Goloka and enjoy with the gopis, for example. No, that's not possible. This is what we can see in Vrindavan. There is Gopeshwar Mandir, right?
hmm. But Prabhuji, from Vishnu, or for example, the all the incarnations are coming from Shirodakshai Vishnu,
Mm-hmm.
and from that, because it is Vishnu Tattva, from Shirodakshai Vishnu also he can manifest as Krishna because the Tattva is same,
Mm-hmm.
or not. So in similar way, if the Shiva Tattva is also falling in the same Tattva, uh, then it can be possible that
Again,
Vishnu
in
can
this, there is
manifest.
this, the Lord is appearing in different capacities. One is Vilasa, one is Prabhasa, Prabhava. There are so many Swarupa, there are so many kinds of avatars that Lord is manifesting. Though they are Vishnu Tattva, not everything is manifested in full. Yeah. So the Lord, though He Himself has appeared in different forms, different ways, He is not manifesting His full potency in such incarnations.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
and if your question is, can He again go back become Krishna? For if that was your question, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, if such an avatar can become a Krishna, I mean, maybe it's interesting to know why do we want to know that?
Because Lord has no power limits of the power.
Yeah, but why do we? What is so interesting for us to know whether he becomes Krishna in the end or not?
Yeah, to establish that Lord is all powerful, he can do whatever he want, or as per his
Yeah, but
strength.
that mm, I'm just thinking, does Lord have to do that to establish his supremacy that he can become a Krishna or not? I don't know if that is
Yeah, because yeah, so
needed.
this question come from Mayavadis that
No, no, I understand. That's why I'm also thinking if that question, how how relevant it is to establish Lord supremacy, because eventually when you say this, it also goes more in favor of Mayavad understanding that everything is the Lord and everything came out from Him, everything can become Him. Then there is no difference. Whereas our Vaishnava philosophy is telling that there is a clear distinction between these avatars, right? Though tattva might be same, the potency is same, but every leela or every incarnation has its own purpose. Lord Narasimha appears and he doesn't become Krishna, right? After he appeared.
mhm. Yes, Guruji. I
Yeah.
Prabhuji came
So
across some lecture of somewhere that it was said there that Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma sometimes in that position also some very pious
people
Jivatma
come.
also can sit.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
in that scenario, they are not the Lord.
Yeah, they are servant. Yeah.
Sometimes when Lord Himself, takes that position when no Jivatma
Mm.
is qualified, and
Yeah.
at that time they are the same Lord as.
Yeah. Just like a company, right? If some person is on a long leave or whatever reason he's need to be fired, and there is no one, someone, would just come in, fill in for some time until a qualified person is able to take care of the responsibility. Lord need not do it, but Lord also says, okay, let me come and take care.
And Prabhuji, another thing is about Lord Shiva is like this Jivatma, the origin of all the Jivas is Supreme Lord. So similarly, when the Jivatma, they came out from the Lord, they have the separate identity.
Mhm.
Similarly, and now the Jivatma cannot transform back because they are separate part of the Lord. At the same time, the origin is same, but still Jivatma are not the Lord. Similarly, can we also say about Lord Shiva is also like that, but he is exalted tattva in from Lord, no, not like Jivatma, but separated from Lord. It will not
In the spiritual
go.
world, when you are referring, right, this Mahavishnu, La, Sadashiva, everything, there is always no difference. Yeah, you can see, as you said, from a tattva. Yeah, there are two things. One is that tattva level, it is same.
Hmm.
Yeah, but when it comes to existence, if that is a question, yeah, Sadashiva also exists eternally. Mahavishnu also exists eternally.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Mm.
was talking about so Sadashiva is in Vaikuntha Loka. He is the same Vishnu Tattva, but when Rudra, or as they say in the Kailash on the
Yeah.
material world, when there they he expands, then could be that he is different or separate Tattva than the Vishnu
Yes.
Tattva.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And the yeah, and this is what is happening in every universe, right? In every
Yes.
universe, there is Lord Brahma is there, and for annihilation and education purpose, there is also Lord Shiva manifesting. So this is a process of administration of the Lord, so that these worlds can be created and annihilated and executed all the activities. So that the role of the incarnations have a purpose. That's the role.
Mm.
And do they exist forever? Again, the same. I have to check whether after the annihilation, what happens to Rudras? Yeah, because we know that Mahavishnu, yeah, Shiva takes or be in the form of pure Sadashiva, yeah, Mahavishnu. So what happens to Rudras? I have to check again.
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
there is so much I'm not aware. I have not come across yet about these aspects of Lord Shiva.
Yes, Guruji. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, Guruji.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, maybe I'll start looking to find something which, if I come across, I'll definitely share. Mm. Okay. Other questions? No. Then thank you very much for joining. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। And tomorrow, is it Sunday class at 7:30 or 9? What time is it, Adras Prabhu?